Hi everyone, Andrew here from Transitions Hair in Sydney, Australia. Welcome along to another one of our little episodes. And today we've got a special guest with us. His name is Chris Satalios. Now, Chris is one of our clients. He's been a client with us for a few years now. Chris is a professional entertainer, dancer. He competed on So You Think You Can Dance, and I feel that he should have won, but didn't, but he should have. But he's a great entertainer. He's worked with Paula Abdul, Rita Ora, a whole bunch of other people like that. So we're talking A-class here, highly physical lifestyle. And he wanted to share his story about what's going on with his hair. And I thought there'd be a lot of value for you as you listen to this conversation about really an anti-gimmick, but very authentic video about hair loss and hair loss solutions, particularly non-surgical hair restoration, AKA hair systems. Okay, so Chris, welcome along. Thanks for doing this. Really do appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about what started happening when you were losing your hair. Like, how long ago was that? How old were you at the time?
I first started losing my hair at about 21, 22.
Right.
I'm 30 now, so it's a long time ago.
A little while ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I tried every, cream and serum under the sun to get my hair back. I really was looking for something that could be my next step.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't sure what to do. And I think that was probably the hardest thing, that looking online, there was just a million and one things and wasn't really sure what was real, what was not. Everyone has, there's pills and then there's surgery and all this stuff that I thought that was a little bit too extreme.
They were overselling it?
Yeah, and also just, you don't know, there was always so many side effects listed and there were so many things that were a little bit too scary in my opinion. And then when I reached out and found the hair system stuff, I thought that could be the one.
Yeah, you thought that this is something that couldn't possibly work for you, and it wasn't until you found out that one of your colleagues, that he'd done something and you couldn't believe it, like you were a bit gobsmacked.
Yes, so I did see this and I thought I would love that for me. I thought that'd be so cool, but then I also thought with how physical my job is, I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah.
And then I did see another professional dancer and a choreographer who got a hair system, and it was like a miracle. I couldn't believe seeing him dance for hours and performing in shows, and his hair stayed on. And I thought that's the best thing I've ever seen. And I needed to be a part of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
You'd say the key concern that you had was, is it going to be secure? Is it going to stay on after a full day's, essentially hardcore exercise the entire day? Because dancing is not, it's not a walk in the park, let's put it that way. So tell me about that. Like, what was that the thing that's driving it, or is there more to it than that?
When you see online, you see these videos of people get this hair stuck on and it's just 10 seconds and you're like, was that even real? Is it a gimmick? I'm not sure. And I just thought maybe that might work, but then how does their lifestyle change? Or does that fit into their lifestyle? Or is it a specific person, a specific lifestyle that it works for?
Yep.
So for me, I have 12-hour rehearsal days where I have 1 hour lunch break and the rest is complete cardio.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this surely won't work for someone like me. This will slide off when I start sweating. Yeah. They were the biggest questions for me, and especially being on television, you're going to be in a live performance. Will it fly off when I'm on camera? Yeah. So they were just huge concerns, and I just didn't know if that was possible until I guess I did more research into it, and then I just decided to give it a go, and it does work.
It does work, yeah.
It's never moved.
Yeah.
I've done long, 2-hour shows of just cardio physical, and it was never even moved an inch.
Never fine.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. You don't have to be worried about going to the gym and what's going to happen with your hair. It'll be fine. Yeah.
No worries at all.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, and thanks for sharing that. I didn't realize that your days were quite that long. I knew they were long. I knew that they were intense, but I didn't realize it was like 12 hours of practice.
Yeah, and then sometimes you go to the gym after because you need to, keep up your fitness or work on certain things and skills. I can definitely guarantee that this has never moved.
Because you live down by the beach, you are a swimmer as well. Yeah. People are always asking me the question, Is it going to come off when I go swimming? Is it going to come off if I go surfing?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? So what's been your experience? You've had a good chance to check it out.
Yeah, and again, these were all the things that I thought your lifestyle definitely changes when you get this. And that was my biggest concern, why I held back and put the brakes on, why I didn't do this sooner. If I'd known this 10 years ago, I absolutely would have just stuck it on my head. But it's just completely fit into everything. And I can definitely go swimming. I go to the beach all the time, especially in summer. It's pretty much an every morning thing, or it's gym and then beach. So it's literally, run, and then jump in the ocean and
cool down.
Nothing. It dries perfectly, and you get that nice beach hair that you always imagine that you could have. Right. So for me, I love it because I get that beach hair, and it's just everything that I wanted to look like, Yeah,
it's funny you say beach hair. I hate beach hair on me. Like, it's just, my hair just doesn't work for beach hair. It's terrible. So,
well, I've always dreamed of having beach hair. So I'm like, yes, I've got beach hair. Even if it's like buffy and crazy, I'm like, you know what? At least I have that.
Yeah.
Before it was nothing. So I'm like, I'm happy with that.
Now, something else about, I suppose, dancing and all that is that you've had a variety of hairstyles over time. Like, you've had longer and a bit shorter now, and I think we've even gone a little bit shorter once before again. So you've sort of experimented with a bit. Like, sometimes people ask me, can I do different styles? Can I experiment with it? What's been your experience with that?
What I've loved about it is that, like, each time we change the hair system, I can try a new look. And I guess that's something that I couldn't do with my actual hair, is that it wasn't versatile. It was this was the haircut, this was the length, and that's it. You got nothing else to work with. Whereas this, I really get to just try different things. I've had quite long hair with this, and then I've had really short, then I've had the fade. I've had different hairstyles I never was able to do with my hair, like a middle part kind of like 90s kind of vibe. Just so many different things, and it's just so exciting to be able to actually do that with your hair, because that's something I never was able to do at all. Yeah,
I've tried lots of different styles over the time for myself, which is good. But people often wonder, and I don't wear a hair system, just FYI, in case you're wondering, that you can change it up. It's a really great thing to do.
Yeah, you get to experiment the way that you never used to be able to, because you always have to stick to a specific, cut, to make sure that all the
and that's patches, because all the patches were concealed.
So it's just like, you can't change that. You got to keep that same cut every time, same hairdresser. If someone else was touching my hair, I would be freaking out.
Right, interesting.
I either wouldn't go, or I would just be like sweating in the seat. Like, oh my god, like they're gonna do something bad. They don't know what my hair's like.
They're gonna screw it up royally.
Whereas now with your whole team, I'm happy with anyone to go for it, because it's fine. I'm able to do that,
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, when Chris says that our team, we've got several hairstylists that look after our people. Now, he generally prefers one stylist over another, I think, but he's had a good experience with all of them.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
It's all good. Yeah,
any of you guys. Yeah,
good job, team. Now, tell us a little bit. We'll just sort of rewind and probably go back to when you were losing your hair. Just how that impacted your life. Like, how did that affect you?
Well, first of all, I was 21, and that just sucked. 21st birthday, hair's falling out. Like, I would just go through and just, kind of fall out instantly like that. And it just, I lost so much confidence at that time, and that's a time where you should be, really peaking with life and energy. But I was going the other way, and always just kind of sacrificing the way I dressed, because I would have to work around, wearing a cap, or, I was kind of always in sports gear and wearing a cap because I didn't get dressed up, because dressed up meant hat off. And that was terrifying, and even going to movie sets or TV sets where I'd have a hairstylist, doing my hair for the shoot, I would be in complete panic all morning about it. Oh my God, someone's going to touch my hair, and they're going to see the bald spots, and it just was pretty much a 24/7 worry.
Right.
It never ended. Even if I went home, I was still thinking about it. I would put a beanie on so I didn't walk around the house with a beanie in case someone came over. If I was to get a letter from the front, the letterbox, I would put a hat on before walking out, so no one would see it.
Yeah, well,
you know?
That's intense.
Yeah. It's not nice, and I think it's also because, especially at that time, you know, there's no guys to have conversations with that were talking about it, and it was still that joke thing. You know, it was always a joke about losing your hair, and people made fun of it. Versus like asking you, you know, what is going on, or are you okay, and things like that. Or, you know, telling you there's a solution. It was always like, oh, it's gone now. You know, so it's just like, it really affected my confidence badly. And I just wish that I had something to look at like this, or videos of people just talking about it so comfortably and okay, because it's really not a big deal. And I think that's the best way to look at it, is that it's not a huge deal, and a lot of people are going through it, and that's okay.
So many guys are going through it. Like probably, you know, 40% of guys, I'd say, are going through the experience of hair loss at different ages, but plenty. The same age that you were losing your hair, you know. I see the effect it has on guys, and it's demoralizing, you know, just depressing, and some people get it really bad, some people maybe not so bad, but across the board, I think most people don't feel comfortable to speak about it openly, and maybe they don't even have the words to describe how they actually are feeling, because that's something which maybe as Aussies we're not very good at, is talking in general until maybe we get a few pints in us, and then you know, we're a bit better. So
I think it's because we've just grown up with that kind of joke mentality about it, and I think that's what's affected the most. And the more we just talk about it so openly and casually, I think it's just going to be easier for everyone. You know, I guess it's for me, I feel like it's the same thing as when, you know, women go to salons and they get hair extensions and things like that. It's the same thing. You're just doing something to make yourself feel better. And I think that's the best thing, or most important thing to do, is to make sure that you feel good.
Exactly.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No. And it's not like you're trying to be something that you're not. Rather, you're trying to be more like what you ought to be. Like we're born with hair. And obviously, certainly in your case, you prefer life with hair rather than without it. And it's a good thing.
I did rock the shaved head for a while, and I did love that. But again, it didn't match how I felt for my age. You know, there's nothing wrong with rocking a shaved head or a bald head. That's such a great look either way. But it's just, I didn't feel like it was me yet. It wasn't my time. And that was the hardest thing to accept, because I was like, I like this, but this doesn't match me, doesn't match my personality, doesn't match how I feel right now inside. So really it was just me matching how I felt inside and making sure that when I looked in the mirror, that was exactly what it should look like.
That's right. You know? Now, I remember you mentioning before how when you mentioned like looking your age, looking how you thought. Professionally, I remember you saying that you started to get roles that were dad roles because you were looking older than what you should have because of the hair loss. Tell me a bit about that.
Once I decided to just shave all the hair off, I was instantly just put in a box, and all my youth jobs were gone.
Wow.
There was nothing that I could go for that was young and fresh anymore. Even if, you know, no one would even consider looking at you and going, oh, if we put him in a wig or something, like, you know, maybe he could look younger. It was just instantly like that all my 20s were gone, and I was still in my 20s. So it was like, what? Like, I can't even, oh, okay, right. So we're fast forwarding, you know, people were giving me roles for like 36 to 40 plus, and I'm thinking,
wow.
Whoa, like
that's insane, because you're like 25 at this stage, or 22. That's nuts.
It's not old. It's not like age does not bother me, but it's just the thing was that it was just, I was fully caged in that. I couldn't go back or forward. This was it. You're forward, and that's all the roles you're going to go for. And especially in dancing with artists, like I couldn't go to any auditions with young artists because I would look like I was their parent, you know, or like, you know, you wouldn't match with other people that were younger there. So that really affected it limited my work. Right. And that's what I didn't enjoy about it. And that's why I love this, because it doesn't limit me. I can go older or I can go younger. I could take it off and shave it, but then I could have hair back in a couple of weeks. You know, it's like, it's just the option that I have, and that's what I love the most about this.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, one thing that's really interesting, you said that having new hair enables you to dress the way you really want to, but before you couldn't. Tell us about that.
I think just because naturally you get your confidence back, first of all. I think that's just why.
Yeah.
So you just start dressing the way you want.
Yeah.
But for me, I always felt like I couldn't dress in particular outfits because, and it's an insecurity thing, it's really not accurate, but I thought, only people with good hair can wear an outfit like that.
Okay.
Which is a silly thing to say.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's got nothing to do with that. But again, that's the insecurity that you go through with hair loss. So I would always just bypass all the clothes that I always wanted to wear and think that's only nice hair guys wear that.
Yep.
I'm going to go to this section and just grab this and then put a cap on and then see you later. There's no effort there.
Yeah, right.
And that was just like years and years of that. And I always tried on outfits and I'd want to wear it, but I'd also want to wear a hat and then it wouldn't work with the hat.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it's just, this is just allows me to just literally, I just dress freely now.
Yeah.
How I feel, whatever mood I'm in that day, I'll wear whatever that resembles. And I honestly can't think of the last time that I was wearing a hat. Like, I really just don't wear hats that much anymore. Sometimes I like to put it on, just does look cool, feels cool.
Because I know you have a lot, and you do actually look good in hats. I've seen from the ABC doco.
I do love my hats.
You've got great hats. You look good in them, So yeah.
There comes a time, like a beach, like maybe as I'm going to the beach, I'll wear it just because it's super sunny or whatever. Things like that. But for an everyday and all day thing, that's definitely gone because I would wear them for, like I said before, with rehearsals. If it was 13 hours, I'd be wearing a hat for 13 hours. And then I would just have a raging headache from the pressure on my forehead,
But you never get that with a hair system.
No, it does not feel like a hat. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's breathable and it's just there.
So tell us a bit more about that, like the experience of having the hair. Like you've already shared with us how you can do sport, intense exercise, and those sorts of things, and it's highly secure. And it's fine, it looks good the entire time.
Yep.
But actually having it on, how does it feel? Are you aware of it? Is it something you're conscious of? Or tell us about that.
Yeah, I honestly thought when I was going to get this done the first time, I thought it was going to be, just difficult. You'd feel it and you'd have to just, move it or this and that all day long, every day, or when you do something you have to adjust. I just don't even remember myself without this now. I think that it's my hair. I'm convinced that it's mine. It feels like my hair. It looks like how I used to look when my hair was healthy. I honestly forget that it's there sometimes. And I don't feel it in the day. I don't feel it right now. I don't feel it when I'm dancing. I don't feel it when I'm working. I don't feel it when I'm asleep.
Yep.
Well, lying down. It's honestly, it's my hair.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it now. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely your hair. You pay for every cent. So.
It's mine. Sometimes I'm like, where does it end? Where does mine end and where does this start? So that transition point of where we've got the new hair or the hair system and your own hair, that transition point is really smooth and imperceptible. And it's like for those that are watching, Chris uses like a lace system and and it doesn't matter whether it's a lace or one of our skiing systems, they're very, very thin. And so when you run your fingers down the side of your head, it's very difficult to notice where it starts and stops. Yep, that's what you're getting Absolutely.
at there.
Yeah. I think the maintenance before I actually got a hair system was harder than now when I have one.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me, what were you doing to be able to style your hair in such a way that you were okay with when you were losing your hair versus what it's like with the hair system?
Well, before the hair system, I would use the hair fibers or the powder, and that would take forever, first of all, to apply that into, because for me, I had just so many gaps. It was so thin on top. So I was basically coloring my whole entire head on top.
Right.
It was like, and it would be thick too. Because I would need it to be thick for, perspiration and when I'm performing, and so it wouldn't move. But then once I applied that, I have to hairspray that, lock that in. and it was like having a rock solid like scalp. It's crazy because this, I don't feel this, and this is literally a piece of lace on my head, and I don't feel that compared to something that wasn't even attached to my head.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I would have to put a lot of work into that, and that would make if I had to do my hair for something, performance or going out, that'd probably take me about an hour.
Right.
The whole thing.
Take you 1 hour when you're losing your hair to get looking good.
To make sure it looked just good and natural, because sometimes it wouldn't look natural, then I have to kind of start again, and just the effort. And I was just, again, the insecurity, I would be like, it doesn't look good, fix it. And then if the powder would go on my face, then I'd have to wipe it, and all these things. It was just exhausting. And then having to get a haircut like so regularly, like that's not normal. Like, I would go sometimes once a week, like or sometimes twice a week, just to make sure that it stayed looking exactly the same, because that was the only length or part that looked good. So I'd have to keep it at that. And it was exhausting. It wasn't fun. I never even felt like great anyway with that effort, whereas having this system, there is still effort involved, but the rewards are so much more greater. And the only thing I need to do is the hairline, once a week or every 4 days you can do, depending on how it's looking.
Yeah, because you have a fairly intense. You're doing F45 at the moment as well, all right? So you've got it's high perspiration. And I think generally you would change the tape there at the front, or do the hairline probably just once a week, I think, from our conversations.
I pretty much do once a week. Yeah. I go by how it's looking. Sometimes, but
we generally recommend 4 or 5 days for most people. But you can go a week and a half. There's no hard and fast rules about this. You just kind of go by how it looks. But it lasts, for me, it lasts a week with all that intensity, which is pretty impressive to me. And it's just so simple to change that part. And to do the front hairline again, to reapply the adhesive strips through there, how long does it take you?
To reapply and clean it a little bit, honestly, I would be shocked if I went over 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay, so not a lot of investment of your time there.
Absolutely not. And that's 10 minutes of a whole week.
Right.
When you put that into consideration, that's not a lot.
Yeah. So for 10 minutes worth of work to have amazing hair through the entire week, it's a pretty good reward.
Insane.
Effort ratio.
Versus doing something for an hour that doesn't look good, and then you don't feel good, and then you're insecure.
And that was every day.
Yeah,
versus once a week. You wake up in the morning, your hair's a bit of a mess, because everyone's hair's a mess in the morning.
Which I love, because I have bed hair now.
Right.
So I love that. It's okay.
Hey, that's good. And then how long would it take you to, punch it into shape?
I give it a bit of a brush, and then I put in the leave-in conditioner spray, and then I'm on my day. Honestly, I don't even style it. Unless I need it specifically looking like something for a job, or I'm going out and I just want to be a little bit extra, with the hairstyling. But even then, with the little bit extra, it's still a 5-minute job.
Right. Nothing.
I'm saying that with just maybe giving that extra, because really it just looks good. It's healthy hair. So you really don't need to do much, other than maybe if it's wet, you need a bit of a blow dry. Okay, that takes a bit of time, but you do that anyway with hair, regardless. And then that's it. It just looks good. That's the best part of it. It's healthy. It looks good. So I just do a little something, and then I walk out and I'm done.
Yeah. And this is probably something really important for the viewers to know, is that if you've got a high quality hair system, you should have a really high quality hair. You're going to pay a bit more for it, but the thing is that it's going to make your life so much easier, and you're going to enjoy it, rather than being a mission to try to get it to style properly and those sorts of things. So they're factors to consider, and you can see Chris just sharing his story, this is all unscripted, that it makes life a whole lot easier for you when you have good hair. Compared to what you were spending previously on all the hair fibers, hair products and time versus to what the cost is to have the hair system today, how does that compare in your mind?
That was definitely a question before jumping on board the hair system train.
Yeah.
That I was thinking, well, yeah, can I afford that? I'm not sure. I definitely think that I spent more before on 1,000,001 products, all the hair growth, serums and stuff, the hair fibers and powders, all the hairspray and gel in the world to make sure it was looked at, how it did, the millions of haircuts that I'd have to do because I would have to go so regularly to make sure it stayed at that one look.
Yep.
I definitely think that I was throwing away way more money than I was before investing into this.
Yep.
And then at this, I'm way happier. I'm actually feeling exactly how I should be feeling and wanted to feel before when I was just throwing it into nothing, So that was a worry of mine, but I personally don't think that should be a consideration because you get the greatest rewards from this versus the other way.
Yeah, I suppose this is the thing, like trying to quantify or monetize perhaps the cost of having a hair system, because there is some expense with it, versus the benefits that you get from it. And I think it's pretty fair to say that like the cost of the system is probably no different to like when you go to F45, like the F45 membership would probably be similar to that.
Honestly, it's an investment.
Maybe less actually. In your case,
less. I just think that it's an investment like you would when you get a gym membership. Your health is benefiting from this, and this, my confidence and my well-being and my happiness is benefiting from this. So for me, I think that it's a great investment. I don't see it as like something not reachable or something that I should be considering. It should be like you should do this. The same way you treat everything else. Your gym and your other stuff that you do in your life. It's part of my lifestyle now, and it's made my life and my lifestyle better. Because of investing into this.
What was the reaction like from friends and family?
For me personally, I was happy to just tell everyone that I was doing it, and then when I got it, to tell everyone that I'd got it. And if anyone asks, I say that I have a hair system as well, because it's something I'm actually really excited about, because I think that it's the fact that I even have the opportunity to have something like this, that's where we are today, like maybe 50 years ago, this wasn't as good. I don't know.
I've been doing it for a quarter of a century. It wasn't as good. Definitely.
Right. So for me, I feel like it's like a privilege. It's exciting. It's something that I love to talk about. And I wasn't necessarily worried about what people were going to say. For me, it was really honestly an internal thing. Like I needed I guess like the approval and opinion from myself. Like when I looked in the mirror, when I got that on, I wanted to feel like me again. And then I got that. So for me, I didn't actually care if someone said, I thought you had less hair than that. Or like, I was like beaming the second it was stuck on my head and went straight out and went to everyone. It was like, look at my hair, I've got new hair. Like, like so excited about it. So I think you can choose to not, say anything, but also don't think that you should be taking that into consideration. Like I said, for me, it was the moment of me looking in the mirror. And I think that's the only thing you should be considering, not someone else's opinion. And your friends and family will support it because that's what your friends and family do. And anyone that will say anything, whatever, because you can't win with everyone in life, so who cares?
That's right.
Again, honestly, for me, the biggest consideration you should be thinking about is you and how you're going to feel. And that's it.
Oddly, I mean, depending on your level of hair loss, I mean, sometimes people say that no one has even noticed, no one's even mentioned anything, no one's looked at me strange or looked at my hair or anything weird like that at all. So they're like, I don't think anyone knows. Or on the other hand, when they've been discussing it with people previously, like, what would you think if I did this and what have you? So often the response is like, man, whatever floats your boat. Like if you think that's gonna be a good thing for you, make it a good thing for you. Go and do it, And as long as it looks good, no one cares, and most of the time no one knows. And interestingly, people forget. You know, because they just accept you as you right now, and they forget what you might have looked like previously. Because if it looks natural, there's nothing to draw your attention to it. So
totally.
Yeah.
I still have people that they do know and they completely forget all the time. They're like, I can't believe that's not your hair. They're like, it looks like you, how I know, you know?
Yeah.
And especially living in LA and coming back to Australia, people like, this is how I remember you. And they're like, they had no idea. They just said, did you dye your hair? And I'm like, no, I actually got hair. Like, I think before you get a hair system, you think everyone's going to notice. They're going to look at me when I'm walking down the street. Everyone's going to say, you don't have hair. People don't notice that. No. They're literally just either going to say, your hair looks amazing, or did you color it? Like, they're not going to ask. They don't know that, you know? Yeah. So it's nothing to be worried about, at all.
Fantastic. Well, you've heard it from the boss, okay? So, you don't have to worry about those things. What would be your closing thoughts to someone who's considering doing something with their hair, exploring whether like a hair system, non-surgical hair restoration is the right way for them? What should I do?
I think if you're just feeling so, stuck and I guess insecure and like stale in everything that you're doing with your natural hair, and it's just not working. Like, you've really given it a red hot go. Like, I'd given it years and years and years to just make sure. Like, I didn't want to really do anything because I thought maybe that hope you hold on to.
Yeah.
I really just had to surrender and accept that it was not going to get better.
Yeah.
And all I wanted was to feel better. And I knew that I just had to take the next step and just trust that it was going to improve my life, and it did. So I think if you're just wanting to finally feel that peace and to feel good, why not is my question. Like, why would you not do that? If it's going to mean that your career is going to be better because you're more confident, the way you dress is going to be better because you're more confident. You might meet someone because you're more confident. You're more social. You're willing to go out more with your friends. Like, just why not? If it's going to benefit your life so much, why would you not do that? Yeah.
Exactly. So many more opportunities. Come your way just because you're able to put yourself out there. Where before a lot of people aren't. You
limit yourself, so time to be limitless.
How have you found your experience at Transitions Hair?
Just the best. I feel like you guys have educated me a lot on just like hair maintenance, how to wash my hair properly and condition it properly, how to blow dry it properly, how to style it properly, how to keep it clean, just all these things that I just didn't have much knowledge on before. And
for those, Chris got his hair done first in Las Vegas with one of our colleagues over there, but he was only there for a very short time before COVID lockdowns and that sort of thing. So then he was with us.
Yes. And because of COVID, I didn't have anyone to help me how to figure this hair system out. But you guys are definitely just showed so many different ways of, especially if I want to take it off myself, I know how to now. I know how to clean it properly now. I know to retape it back on and stick it on by myself because of all the little tips and hacks you guys have given me. And I thought it'd be so hard, but it was only hard because I didn't know when I was doing it by myself. So with you guys, everything's just so simple now. Even if I'm taking the whole thing off and cleaning it, I can do it so much more quicker and efficient now versus I would spend hours before coming into this salon. So I'm so grateful for everything you guys have taught me and all the help you've given. So I 10 out of 10 experience.
Great,
every time.
Glad to be here.
Every time.
Thank you for joining us today. It's been really wonderful. It's been a really awesome conversation, and I hope that's been really helpful for someone out there who's watching this. If you do have questions or you want to get more information, remember you can get in touch with us online. Go to transitionshair.com.au and you can fill out one of the forms there and fill it out, or you can give us a phone call. Our details there on our website. And yeah, and if you liked what you saw today, don't forget to subscribe. Just, down the bottom there's that little subscribe button, that like button. Give us a thumbs up, that'd be great. And thank you for spending time with us, and thank you, Chris. And if you have further questions, pop them down in the comments. I'll do my best to respond to them in the best way that I can. And we look forward to catching up with you soon, and look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah.
It's been great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.